might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Friday, January 5th, 2023. Jesus Christ, already messing up. 2024. We are in 2024. Let's remember that. Let's keep moving forward. So, if you do not know who I am your host, Tech Coach Ralph, and this is the Koffee and Kata morning show. Starting a little late today, but it is what it is. And on this channel, we are engineered to win. That's what we focus on. We focus on winning and strategies to win. All right. So let me acknowledge my brother in the chat already early on his way to work. Operation Tech Takeover says, peace and blessings, family. Jumping on the road and ready to listen to the game you are going to drop. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. So, we do have our episode of the Bug Bite releasing today at noon Eastern time. So, go ahead and hit the notify button for that so you can, it's going to be fun. Trust me, it's going to be really, really fun about if a Tesla robot actually really attacked a Tesla engineer. Are the robots fighting back? So that's going to be a very fun one to look into. So let's just jump into our news stories. By the way, we will be going live on Sunday to keep going through Terraform. So definitely tune in for that. But let's jump into our news stories. I have to hack my way around the clock today, but the timer today, but it is what it is. We will make do with what we have. So let's get our timer started as we jump into our news stories. Okay. So let's go to all right. So let's zoom in a bit. The first story is Costco takes stock after union loss. I always hear so many wonderful things about Costco, so let's see what this is saying. Costco's reactions to workers who voted to unionize in Norfolk, Virginia last month has sparked thoughtful conversation among LinkedIn members, many whom are praising the wholesale retailers for its response. Instead of taking an antagonistic approach, with CNN citing Starbucks and Amazon as examples, Costco responded by reflecting and taking a responsibility. Craig Jelinek, who stepped down as CEO as of January 1st, and new CEO Ron Vakris signed a letter saying, "We were disappointed by the result, but not by their workers. Instead, they acknowledge we're disappointed in ourselves as managers and leaders." So I'm going to say this. I always hear so many wonderful things about how Costco treats its employees. And I even had a while ago someone saying like they're comparing Costco to Walmart. And I was like, well, Walmart does way more for millions of people around the world than Costco does. But, they're like, oh, but Costco does this little thing for its employees. So if even the Costco employees are voting to unionize, then I'm like, there is no winning. So I don't know. That maybe I'm wrong. That's just me. All right. So let's move on to our next one. Supermarkets drop Pepsi over prices. Oh my goodness. Even they're coming for Pepsi. A global supermarket giant is pulling some Pepsi products from its shelves because it's fed up with the company's high prices. Carefree says it will stop selling Pepsi, Doritos, Lay's, and other items in Spain, Belgium, Italy, and France. Well, the way the article started, it was like they're pulling off the shelves in the US. Okay. The decision is a protest against what it believes are unacceptable price increases and represents a rare public spat between suppliers and grocers, writes the Wall Street Journal. Carrefour, which which can be found in more than 30 countries, says affected customers will see notes on shelves explaining the absence of various Pepsi brands. In October, Pepsi finance chief Hugh Johnston told the Journal price increases would potentially slow the inflation in 2024, while also citing customers' snack habits seem impervious to tougher economic times. I would say that it's going to be a win for the customers to take the unhealthy stuff off the shelf. So I'm like, wow, this is can actually help them, but they're probably just gonna go buy other crap to eat. So it is what it is. Anyways, let's move on. Sorry, Pepsi, and sorry, Carrefour, for your war on prices. All right. So the next one is OpenAI, which we are using for our Chaos Camp challenge. But it's OpenAI to open chatbot store. So let's see what this is about. OpenAI is launching a marketplace next week for the exchange and sale of customized artificial intelligence models, the information reported, citing a memo from the company. The store would let customers sell or share chatbots they have modified for various purposes, such as a lesson planning for teachers or businesses. OpenAI, a leader in developing chatbots powered by large language models, had originally planned to open the store in November, but delayed it due to a leadership crisis at the company. For more coverage on the tech industry, click here to subscribe to Tech Stack, a newsletter from LinkedIn. All right, so do this if you want. So I need to reach out to Don because we can jump into this chatbot creation thing because we have some stuff. Anyway, too much information. Too much information. All right, let's move on to our next one. SpaceX sues the U.S. Labor Board. SpaceX, which was accused earlier in the week of illegally firing workers, has hit back against the agency that brought the charges. The Elon Musk led company sued the National Labor Relations Board on Thursday, arguing that the board's complaint process denies SpaceX of its constitutional rights to trial by jury. The NLRB has lodged a complaint against SpaceX on Wednesday, contending that fired employees who signed an open critical letter of Musk were engaged in a protected activity. Barring a settlement, the labor case will be heard by a judge on March 5th. SpaceX's lawsuit asked a federal court to put those proceedings on hold. All right, we have they're always coming after Mr. Musk, right? They're always coming after, but Mr. Musk and his companies always seem to fight back against whatever allegations are thrown at him. All right, so let's move on to. I don't even want to read this guy's stuff. All right, let's move on. So, Peloton and TikTok team up. So let's see what Peloton and TikTok are up to. So Peloton and TikTok are joining forces to offer fitness content, including live classes and collaborations with the social media's apps creators. Peloton has recently been attempting a mass market reinvention, offering more pricing tiers and positioning itself as a fitness option for all. I don't know. It doesn't have any jujitsu in there yet, so we'll see. Uh, The company saw once massive demand for its equipment and classes drop after the pandemic when customers were able to return to the gym. In the 3 months ending September 30th, Peloton lost 30,000. Yes, I repeat, 30,000 members and saw revenue drop to 595.5 million versus 757.9 million over the same period at the pandemic's peak. Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. All right. But, maybe TikTok can be the saving grace for Peloton over there. All right. And lastly, the NCAA and ESPN seal $920 million pact. So we always hear how they are using these athletes, these college athletes. So let's see what this reads. The NCAA and ESPN have re-upped their media rights partnership, and the 8-year $920 million pact nearly triples the annual value of their last deal. The agreement includes 40 NCAA men's and women's championships, and the biggest driver of the deal is women's sports, particularly basketball. It alone represents 57% or 65 million of the deal's annual value, roughly 10 times what the sport was valued previously. Some women's basketball coaches didn't get their wish for tournament rights to be sold separately, but the Wall Street Journal notes the deal sets up a revenue sharing path similar to that of the men's tournament. My question is, revenue sharing with who? Is it just the schools that make a bunch of money? Do the coaches get paid a little bit of incentives? Is it just with the NCAA? Or are the players looked out for? I know we say, oh, they get scholarships and stuff like that, but go watch that Chris Webber and the Michigan Five, whatever they were called, with Jalen Rose and the likes. And it was a very interesting story when Chris Webber asked the coach for some money to buy a pizza after a really big game, and it was like, sorry, nothing I can do for you. So I don't know. That is our news stories for today. And we are going to jump into, so I was thinking about just doing the whole week for Chaos Camp, but I'm not I want to see what the Code Wars is about, to see if it's something that we should do for the whole week, or if we can do that on a Friday like we used to do with the GitHub branching stuff. So I was like, let's just try it today, see what happens, and then if we need to, we will pivot, we will adjust. So we shall see. So I have it up here, and we can navigate it through it together and see what we're going to jump into. Okay, because I do want to. I'm able to figure out stuff with code, but I do want to continue to make it better, and start exploring this Code Wars to see if it's something that can help us. So I have it up here. And this is so I already signed up. If you haven't, I'll just drop a link in the chat to it, so you can go ahead and sign up for Code Wars. And maybe we'll go back and forth between Code Wars and maybe I'll start getting a little bit into lead code. I don't know. I hear a lot about it, but I don't know. We shall see. All right. So I just dropped the link in the chat for Code Wars for you to sign up. I will post a link to the actual challenge we jump into after the show. I'll put it in the description of the video. So we're in, and I chose to do practice. Because that's what we're gonna do, and they even call it Kata library. So let's go to my languages. Let's do something we're familiar with. Let's go with Python for today. And let me throw up I'll throw up 20 minutes on the clock if I can find it. Let's do.
It's time to do.
Good morning, Bridget. How are you doing this morning? Happy to have you here. Are you familiar with CodeWars? I've it's been on my radar for the past over a year now, or yeah, for about the past year, but I never jumped into it. I had an account, but I just said, you know what, let's start 2024 off on the right foot. And I said, let me jump into Code Wars and see what it's about. Like I said, I heard a lot about Lead Code. I signed up for Code Wars last year, but just never got into it. So I said, let's see what it's about. All right. So I chose Python. Chose Python, I believe. And I would suppose it would filter for me. All right, let's see. Let me try that again. Okay, so you can do any of these. A wolf in so let's why not go into the first one? A wolf in sheep's clothing. So let's see what this is about. Wolves have been introduced to Great Britain. You are a sheep farmer and are now plagued by wolves which pretend to be sheep. Fortunately, you are good at spotting them. Warn the sheep in front of the wolf. Warn the sheep in front of the wolf that it is about to be eaten. Remember that you are standing in at the front of the queue, which is at the end of the array. So we're here, and then wolf. So sheep, sheep, wolf, sheep, 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 sheep. And it says warn the sheep in front of the wolf that it's about to be eaten. So warn the sheep. So these sheep should be warned if I'm at the front that it's about to be eaten. If the wolf is the closest animal to you, return, please go away, stop eating my sheep. Otherwise, repeat, oh, sheep number N, you are about to be eaten by a wolf, where N is the sheep's position in the queue. Got it. Okay. There will always be exactly one wolf in the array. Okay, cool. Um, Input sheep, 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 wolf, sheep. Output, oh, sheep number one, you are about to be eaten by a wolf. Input, sheep, sheep, wolf, please go away, stop eating my sheep. That sounds like a fun one. That does sound like a fun one. And I will go with Python. Eventually we'll get better with JavaScript, but let's go to train. And here we are. So let's read, because this is my first time using CodeWars. So let's read the tips trainer. And maybe this so seeing this here, this will probably take more than 20 minutes. So we probably have to dedicate a week to it. So maybe next week we will focus on this, and then the following week we'll come back to our OpenAI challenge with Chaos Camp. So yeah, so we will definitely see. Let's see. Bridget says I've done Code Wars when I was learning to code. Awesome. I remember not understanding the question a lot of the times. I was usually doing them late at night. Well, that could be part of the problem, doing it late at night. But maybe like the way that I start to lay it out, that can give some insight into maybe how I would figure it out. Because as well, I'm coming to it not as a developer. I'm coming to it as a QA engineer, and how it would like and you'll see like how my brain processes it, and maybe that can give some additional insight. So, welcome to the Kata trainer. A few tips. Let me see. I'm blocking this. Hold on. Let me. Well, I'll just read it, okay? And you can read it on your own as well. Welcome to the Kata trainer. A few tips to get you started. Attempt. This button will submit your code against the full set of tests needed to complete the kata. Test. The button will test your solution against the sample test. Most katas will have provided you some sample tests to get you going, while others will not, in which case some test documentation will be shown. If you care about using test-driven development, then the sample test section will be very useful for you. I do care about using test-driven development, so we'll see how we can go with that. You are encouraged to write your own tests as you try to complete the kata, as you would if you were writing production code. Production quality code. Some code warriors like to write code golfed or creative, clever solutions, but most try to write production quality code. After you have completed all the test cases via the attempt button, you will be given an opportunity to clean up your code so that it is code review ready. All right, so that's pretty cool. Let's close that out. So we have our instructions over here. We have our where we're gonna put our code in over here. We have our test over here. And um, you're encouraged to write your own test. So let's see here. I wonder what testing library they're using. Oh, I guess they have their own test stuff. This says you're encouraged to write your own test. I wonder how I'd write my own test in here. Let's see. And whenever I start doing this stuff and like these challenges, I like to just come and click on test and then see that see it fail. And then now, and this to me, that's like part of the test driven development. As I click test, then I should start to pass. So now, like, let's say I saw for this one, that should start to pass and then, go forth from there, right? So, let's just get started. All right. So, let's go to instructions and so what I'll do is I'll say, all right, let's get rid of this pass over here. And I will say, so the queue. And so the first thing we can start off with is a if statement and say, so although that this is the front, it's actually the last, right? So maybe we can get one or two of these tests to pass in the 10 minutes that we have, right? But then we'll dive deeper into it, last, or we'll dive deeper into it, at the like next week, right? So let's say Q, and I am not going to get code assistance, am I? All right. Let me see. I might have to pull up I'm gonna pull up PyCharm on the other screen so I can get some, because I don't remember this stuff. I don't remember this stuff. So, you know, there goes that neighbor. All right. Um, so if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my PyCharm so I can get my code suggestions. Let me see. All right. Let's say we go with. All right. So I would go with, and I guess I could Google it as well, but let's say we go with index. I'm gonna do -1. Or before I even do that, right? I am going to just do, because I like to print my outputs and stuff. So if I do here, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day as well, Bridget. I will definitely talk to you later. All right. So I like to just start off with this, and let me see. I want to run it. I'm not sure if I can do that. With CodeWars, but I could always like pull this into. Maybe I'll do that. Going forward, like pull it into like PyCharm so I can have a better view. I don't like doing stuff in the browser. But let's see. See if I can get some output. Um, I don't know if I can get some. -1. Okay. So, all right. So let's just print out the queue, right? Let's do that because when you click test, it doesn't count against you. You're testing, So so if we do that, and I would get all right. So I got my output, and I want to see, and I never remember the code. So let's do a quick Google search. Python last element in list, right? Uh, okay, so it is so -1. All right, so cool. So what I have to do in here, if I do -1, so we test again, and we'll get the output where sheep, 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 wolf, right? So now that we have that output, we say if um q -1 is equal to wolf, then we want to return, let's look at our instructions, then return, and let's return this output. So let's see if we can get, let's see if we can, so, and we can put it like that, right? So let's see if we can get this first one to pass, right? So let's do a test. And we have one test passed. So that is awesome. And that's what I mean by these small victories, right? This just small victories. Okay. So now we can go to another one. Else if, which could also do just an if statement, but let's see. All right. So let's say we have um so how we make it work and we make it better, right? So let's say, which this is not the way that we're going to keep it, but just for testing it out, right? Let's say we had this, right? Um, and would return. So we can be very, very specific in this case, right? But then we're going to edit it. So let's say we were to take this. Because when you do the attempt, there's going to be a bunch of tests that are running that will there are gonna be a bunch of tests that are running it can be totally random, like and vary. So but what we do is what I do is I hard code it and then like just so I can see it pass, and then I start to refactor it into making it more dynamic and stuff like that. All right, so let's go to test. See now this one passes, but this is not going to be sustainable because it's like it's not always going to be there, right? So now that we got two tests passing, but we know this one is not going to be a good one. It's not gonna sustain us. We can start to say, all right, um, find. So what we want to do is find the position of wolf in the list, right? And then we can. So we're gonna stop here, and we're going to refactor this, right? So let's do Python, and we'll do find position in list, right? And I like let's focus on using Stack Overflow a little more because that's going to be like your best friend. So given a list foo bar baz and an item in the list bar, how do I get its index of 1? All right. So uh so list index x start. Hmm. So before we go any further, right? Here's what I want to do. I want to write the logic that we're going to use, right? So we're going to say, so this is the logic that we're going to use to solve this, right? So find the position of Wolf in the list, count the size of the list. So, or find the position slash index. It's more of an index of Wolf in the list, count the size of the list. So let's say in this one, or let's say in this one, right? So the size of this list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So, i.e., list size is 8 or is 8. Um, and then position of Wolf is, and it starts, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the fifth item in the list um is at index 5, position 6, right? Because it starts at 0. And so now we want to do so we want to subtract. So we would either subtract the we'll be subtracting, right? Like so we'd probably be doing either subtracting the full amount minus the index, or do the full amount minus the position, right? So if we're doing that, it would be like index plus 1. So and we can modify that as necessary, right? But we'd say subtract list size, or we would say subtract position from list size equals how many sheeps in front. All right, so that would be what we would be doing. So okay, so that's the idea. All right, so what we want to do is we have that one taken care of, and we'll say if the um if the queue, so let's do this. So let's do something where we can get the position of the wolf, right? So we will start with so I wonder if we could just do it as simple as this, right? So let's say print f position of wolf, and we'll do q dot index and wolf, right? So let's do a test on that, see what we get. Unmatched index of wolf. Um, wonder if the F string is working in here. Right, so let's just cut that out. I don't know if the F string is working in this thing. So what I'm going to do, get rid of the whole F string part. You know, I know this would work in PyCharm, but we will figure it out as we go along for. Okay, so something, all right, so the F string, not so friendly in CodeWars, but we have, let's see, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like we thought. 0, 1. Cool, cool, cool. So, and then 1. So, we're about to run out of time, but we will. don't want to. I don't know why that sound isn't working, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and let's do a little bit more. Let's just push a little bit more because we are very, very close here. So let's say we do. So let's say we do add a variable position of wolf in q equals q dot index wolf. We have that, and we will say, so we can take that out and just do print. And so now this should give us our same results. Yep. So now we would say, you see here, and now we would say if position of wolf let me see if I print q index. Just curious what this is going to give me. This is how I think there's stuff. This is how I think there's stuff. All right, so 0. Okay. So we'll do one more thing. All right, so let's say so else if or else. So if the last position else, then I want to do so if wolf is the last one, it's going to do this. But if it's not, we want to. So let's run this real quick. And oh, we need a colon. Let's run this real quick. And this should still get the last one to pass, but it won't get the other ones to pass, right? Because you see, like it's all putting this here. So what we're gonna do is else, and we'll say um position in queue. So we're gonna do the total. So print, and we're gonna do q dot size, and that should print out the queue size. It should be what is this? What is the one for size? Python list size len. Okay, that's my bad, len. I should remember that one, right? So let's go with here. So if we do length and we test that. No. Oh wait. Missing one. Okay. So that should all right. So 8. What we're gonna do is so because of this, we're gonna have to do a plus one, right? So we're gonna do we're gonna say size of q equals, then what we'll do is we'll do len q minus 1, right? so that we can get so our math can be correct, right? So if we run this again, put our variables in, this should be like 7, right? So now we can do else if, so we can name this variable sheep in front of wolf. Yeah, actually, I can do that over here, to be honest with you. If we do sheep in front of wolf equals size of Q minus position of wolf in Q. And if we go to here, print, and we test that. So let's see, is this position right? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. So our data is correct. So now we just need to update this. Let's say we do. So now we have to get this right here. I don't know if the F string is going to work here, but we will definitely give it a try. If not, we'll have to do it the other way, which I don't remember how to do it, or I never had to do it in Python, so we'll see. So let's say we do that. Oh, snappity doo, snappity doo. So we got that to work successfully. We actually did get our challenge done in about 20-25 minutes or so, right? And we were like reading through it and stuff like that, right? So we don't need all of this code over here. We don't need this code over here. Clean it up a bit. So we are saying, so let's read this before we wrap it up, right? We're saying position of wolf in the queue. So we get the position of the wolf, right? We are getting so it's probably better. Let me rearrange this real quick. So let's say size of the queue, and then the position of the wolf in so size of the queue is the length of the queue, and I'm doing -1 so that I don't have to do a +1 on this. It's either way would be fine, right? But just to get the accurate number, right? So I'm doing size of the queue is the length of the queue, which would be like 8 -1, and then position of the wolf in the queue, which would be q dot index. So like I said, I could do a +1 here, and I can leave the length without doing the -1. But whatever, because it starts at 0 when counting an array or a list. Sheep in front of wolf. So now my formula to calculate how many sheep are in front of the wolf is the size of the queue, which is the -1, minus the position of the wolf in the queue, which wherever it pops up in here, that's what the index is going to be. And I'm saying if the last element in the queue equals wolf, then write, please go away and stop eating my sheep. However, else, I don't know if you guys can see that good. Saying else, if this is not the case, if this is not true, then return oi sheep number, and then whatever that sheep, the sheep that is in front of the wolf, right? That we calculated here. You are about to be eaten by a wolf, right? And this is so. Let me I don't like their zoom too much. Let me move my comments to the top over here instead. And here we are, right? So now I am going to run my test to see, or I'm going to attempt to see how it turned out, all right? So let's go ahead and click attempt together. Oh, you can't see the attempt button, but it's behind my picture over here, but it is what it is, right? So I'm going to click attempt, and we will have our fingers crossed. Let Let's give a drum roll, please, as well. I don't know where the thing is for that. All right, let's do a drum roll and let's do attempt. And there we have it. 105 different tests passed. Right? Look at that. Look at that. So I feel great. This was code. I like CodeWars, and I'm happy that Bridget did use CodeWars before when she was learning to code. This is not this like trust me, this is not what's going to make you or break you as a developer or as a QA engineer. But it is good to so let's go ahead and submit. It is good to the kata is good to practice, right? So now we have successfully finished our first coding challenge at CodeWars, and it feels great. So I am going to transition back to full screen, and we are going to wrap it up for today. Let me get the clock off the screen. And yeah, so that is our challenge for today. It was very good, very enjoyable. I liked it. And we will do some more in the future. So, yeah, that's all we got for today. I hope you had fun. I hope you were entertained. I hope you had a great job. Great job, geez. A great drive on your way to work this morning, Tech Takeover. And I always appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Bridget, for stopping by. And whoever else is watching out there, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed our challenge this morning. And we will, yep. So that's pretty much it. We will be taking off. Remember, we have we have our first episode of 2024 of the Bug Bite coming out at noon today. So definitely tune into for that. And I will be live on Sunday. I don't know if I'll be live before then, but definitely live on Sunday to continue through Terraform. So looking forward to seeing you there. Let's wrap it up for today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Remember, the way that we're going to make it wonderful is we are going to keep pushing, keep working, keep learning. Every day is a new learning opportunity for us all. But on that note, thank you for tuning in. This is Tech Coach Ralph signing off in the morning with another episode of the Koffee and Kata Show, and we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.